The chair lays before the House a communication.
The Speaker's Rooms, Washington, D.C., March 27, 2026. I hereby designate the period from Friday, March 27, 2026, through Monday, April 13, 2026, as a district work period under Clause 13 of Rule 1. Signed, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House of Representatives.
And with that, MAGA Mike Johnson officially shut down the House of Representatives for basically a 2-week period. They are vacationing while the United States of America is at war.
Did you hear that? That was not spin. That was the official House record. Mike Johnson formally designated March 27th through April 13th as a district work period. In plain English, he sent the House home, and he did it during a Homeland Security funding crisis. Reuters reported the Senate had unanimously passed a bill to restore funding for most DHS operations that included relief for TSA. The House rejected that path anyway. So here is the question. Why leave town when your own government is still on fire? Why walk away when airport lines are growing and federal workers are missing paychecks? Because what you just saw is the real pattern: create chaos, blame somebody else, then disappear before the public can connect the dots. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why that matters. Not just for Washington, for every American who wants a government that actually shows up.
Play the clip.
Yes. I want to know how many Republican senators voted against the bill that we're asking to be considered today in lieu of the continuing resolution. How many Republican senators objected to basically the bill that Mr. Lauro? None.
Madam Chair, was there a roll call vote in the Senate, or was this conducted in the middle of the night by voice vote?
This was passed at around...
By voice in the middle of the night.
By voice.
You control the Senate.
Anyone could have dissented.
You control the agenda in the Senate. And the person who's holding up the table is the Speaker of the House.
Here is what they are not telling you. The Senate vote was not close. It was unanimous. Reuters reported the Senate passed a bill that would restore funding for most DHS operations. Democrats backed it because it did not fund ICE. Republicans backed it because it dropped Democratic restrictions on enforcement tactics. That means both. Parties found a path. Then the House blew it up. That is the part viewers need to understand. This was not some mystery deadlock. This was a decision, and the human cost was already real. Reuters reported more than 100 airport leaders begged Congress to end the standoff. They warned of growing disruptions. They warned the damage could last. Reuters also reported 50,000 TSA officers were working without pay. 460 officers had already quit. Absences topped 10% nationally. Passengers were waiting up to 4.5 hours at some airports. So when you hear Republicans say Democrats are somehow running the show, remember one fact. Reuters reported Republicans hold razor-thin majorities in both chambers. They control the House, they control the Senate, they control the White House. What this actually means for you is simple. If your flight gets delayed, this matters. If federal workers miss paychecks, this matters. If Congress treats basic governing like a hostage game, this matters. And I will say it plainly, a party that cannot keep airports functioning should stop lecturing the country about competence. Because this was not governing. This was political theater with real victims. That document is the paper trail, no rumor, no social media spin. Johnson signed it and the House left. And Reuters says this happened while TSA staffing was already breaking down. That is why this matters so much. When leaders tell you Washington is working, look at the record. The record shows who stayed and who walked away.
Look, we're going to continue a nice presence there and until the airports feel like they're in 100%, in a posture where they can do normal operations. If less TS agents come back, that means we'll keep more ICE agents there. The president has been clear. He wants to secure those airports, especially, as I said earlier, in an increased threat posture. We need to secure those airports. ICE is there to help our brothers and sisters in TSA. We'll be there as long as they need us until they get back to normal operations and feel like those airports are secure.
That clip should alarm every viewer because it shows the mindset. Force first, oversight later. I believe this is bigger than airports. It is about a government that keeps reaching for emergency power, then acts offended when people ask basic questions. Reuters reported the Constitution gives Congress, not the president, the power to send U.S. troops to war, except for limited strikes tied to national security, and also reported the House rejected a war powers resolution. On Iran, by a vote of 219 to 212, The same report said the War Powers Resolution gives a president 60 days to stop unauthorized fighting or come to Congress. So think about what happened here. Congress already ducked a direct fight over war powers. Then Johnson designated a district work period. That is not strength. That looks like avoidance. And the public was not exactly cheering this. On Reuters and Ipsos found only 27% of Americans approved of the Iran strikes, 43% disapproved, and 56% said Trump was too willing to use military force. Every American should know that, because this is what unaccountable power looks like. Airport. Chaos at home, war powers shrugged off abroad, and leadership acting like oversight is optional. That is outrageous. Not because strong action is always wrong, but because in a democracy, power must answer to the people. This is the public mood Republicans do not want to discuss. Only 27% approved of the strikes, 43% disapproved, and most Americans said Trump was too willing to use force. So when Johnson sends the House home after ducking deeper oversight, people notice the arrogance, they notice the disrespect, and they notice who is paying the bill. That is why this story lands so hard. It is not just process, it is trust. And right now, trust is collapsing.
Yeah, I would vote against it. This administration has not come to explain why we're even there or an exit strategy. And by the way, because of the big, beautiful bill and the other funding the Republicans have provided, they already have over $1 trillion that they're utilizing for this unauthorized war. The administration needs to come to us and explain what's going on. And I haven't seen an explanation. I will also say that $200 billion could go, taxpayer money could go towards helping taxpayers in this state, right? I know with that money, we could fund ACA tax credits for another 7 years. We could fund free school lunches for our children for another 7 years. I mean, there's things that can be used to help families here.
Let's sum this up. Mike Johnson officially designated the House out until April 13, that is in the Congressional Record. Reuters reported the Senate had already passed a bipartisan, unanimous DHS fix, and the House rejected it. Reuters also reported airports were already under strain and TSA officers were quitting, and that Congress had already refused to seriously reclaim its war powers role. That is the full picture, not leadership, not discipline, not seriousness. This is my opinion. A government that walks away during a funding crisis loses the right to call itself strong. A Congress that avoids oversight while troops are in danger is failing its job. And a party that controls both chambers and the White House cannot keep blaming everyone else. Editor at 052, flash the district work period document for 3 seconds. Older Americans know what responsible government looks like. It shows up, it votes, it explains itself. It does not hide behind slogans while workers go unpaid and the country grows more unstable. This is not just about one bad week. It is about whether accountability still means anything in Washington. If we stop demanding it, they will keep doing this again and again. So stay angry, stay informed, and stay loud, because democracy does not survive on autopilot. It survives when citizens refuse to look away.
None.
Madam Chair, was there a roll call vote in the Senate, or was this conducted in the middle of the night by voice vote?
This was passed at around.
By voice in the middle of the night.
By voice.
You control the Senate.
Anyone could have
You control
dissented.
the agenda
What?
in the Senate. And the person who's
Mr.
holding up the
McGovern?
table is the Speaker of the House.
If this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button right now, because this story is just getting started and I cover it every single day. Don't miss what's coming next.